Hi guys, so today I have a few new things to share with you from Spellbinders. They aren't necessarily a thing I would do like a whole video on, so I wanted to just show them here. They're kind of like more like tools or like accessories you might use, embellishments, things like that. So these items were sent free of charge for my review, and of course all opinions are my own, and any links down in the description box will be affiliate links, which means I'll make a small commission if you purchase items to those links. And yeah, so I have a few different things here. So let's start here. So these are some new sequins, and I had mentioned them. I just hadn't brought them out quite yet that Spellbinders brought. And these are so awesome. I mean, look at this. So let's talk about the colors right quick. This is Peach Opalescent. We have Pink Opalescent. We have Aura Opalescent. And then Teal Opalescent. And Purple Opalescent. Look how pretty those are. And what's interesting is that these are made for embellishments, you know, card projects or paper crafts, whatever it is that you like to put them on. As you can see, they don't have that little center that's typical of sequins, right? Because you're going to basically sew it into something. I mean, that's what sequins is really made for, or attach it in that way. So they don't have that little hole in the center. So they just look cool, and they're beveled still, you know, with that hole, just the way sequins look, so you can use it however you like. And there are different sizes in here. I hope you can kind of see that. It looks like this one right here is like the larger one. And there's this like medium size here, and then there's a smaller one right next to it, maybe this little guy right there. So it's 3 different sizes that I can tell. Maybe there's 4, but it looks like 3. Really, really pretty. Yeah, in 3 sizes, it says right there. So those are the new sequins. Really pretty. So I'm going to be using those very soon, and I think that's awesome because honestly, a lot of times with the little hole, obviously the glue comes through there, it dries and everything, but it's nice to have something that's made specifically to do the same thing, but for paper crafts, right? And then I have these items here. So they do have, of course, inks and all that good stuff on Spellbinder's site. This is the Clear Embossing and Watermark ink pad. And so really a basic tool that you would like to have if you like doing embossing and things like that. So this is a clear one. So that means you are going to want to use embossing powders that have color, or I don't know, sometimes the other things stick to it, but basically embossing powders, you want to heat set those things. Whatever you need to be heat set, you know, you need this stuff. And so this one is the clear embossing powder, so just your typical embossing powder. It's 1 ounce, nice large size. This will last forever. And then here we have the, well, let me just say, you might wonder, why would I want clear? But what's really fun about this is, like, let's say you stamp something with your clear embossing powder on a white piece of paper or something light colored, just anything like that. You seal it with your clear embossing powder, and then you can go over it with any color, darker color, whatever it is, and that clearness will stay on there, so then you still see the white paper nice and crisp through, the design is there, and then whatever else you did to ink it up, or things like that. So that's what I like that for. You can also just use clear embossing powder to seal inks that take a long time to seal or to dry, like pigment inks. So you have pigment ink, it's very sticky. It's basically like this stuff with color, right? This stuff doesn't have color. And you can seal it with your clear embossing powder, and that's it. You're good to go. Keep moving on instead of waiting for this thing not to smear anymore. So pigment inks are notorious for that. Gold embossing powder. Beautiful gold color. So I'll try these out as I work, you know, with different tutorials and things like that. This is the silver embossing powder. So you have your gold and your silver. White embossing powder. Again, you can do very much the same that you would do with like the clear embossing powder, but this is pigmented white, so you can pop this on black cardstock, you know, ink, you know, put your sentiment or whatever it is, put the white powder, and then when it seals, it's nice and white on whatever it is that you're putting it on. So white embossing powder is a great basic to have, and then black embossing powder, which is our typical and looks great. I always like this for like sentiments or a nice outline. Maybe you're going to watercolor or just have an outline and have it look awesome, and then pop a sentiment on there, you know. So we have those guys. And then we have these, so Spellbinders came out with some new organizational items, and these are items that I requested to try out. It's the small storage crate and the large storage crate. They have a foil roll holder. They have this other contraption that might look different to you. What it is that it holds boards, so like scoring boards and cutting boards, and maybe your you know, your plates, your cutting plates. So it's kind of like staggered in a way, and all you do is you lay the things in there, and it's kind of like, it just holds them upright. So hopefully that makes sense, but I'll link all those things obviously in the description box. So what's interesting, these are new. They do have already on Spellbinder's site storage pouches and tabs, but we'll talk about that in just a minute. So they basically coordinate back to these as far as the sizing. So let me open these up because don't want to make that noise for you guys. I'm going to open both of them and I'll be right back. They're like shrink wrapped and everything, so I'm going to just cut that away. Just cut down the center and then pull it away. Okay? I'll be right back. Oh my gosh, these are so cute. I was just like, what is this? So it's little retention bands, and we'll talk about that in just a minute. So this is the large one and this is the small one. And on the back, they just show you right quick. You have your left side, your right side, the front and the back, the little retention bands, and then your base. And again, we have the storage pouches. I'll show you in just a minute with tabs, which is really great. And yeah, just attach the front and the back panels to the base and secure with retention bands. Attach the left and right panels and secure with retention bands. And then that's it. So you can then pop in, you can use it just like loose like that, or you can get the pouches and tabs and things. So let's put these to the side. So real quick, just want to make sure. This is the small one, like I said. I just want to make sure I'm looking at it correctly. And so the base, of course, like this, it's pretty much double-sided. I don't think that you can choose which side and be wrong because it's basically the same on both sides, all of them. So they're nice and finished, so it's not one side isn't finished or something like that, which is great. And then the front and the back should be up like this. But I believe when we pop it in, we're going to put them down like this. So I'm just looking at the picture and making sure we're about the same. And like I said, these guys look the same too. So we're going to take this and take a front and a back. And add one here. So pop that on there. And then add the retention band, which I'm just going to catch it in that one corner. And then put on the other. How cute! They're like silicone super thick bands. So this one here, I'm just going to put on this side. And I'm looking at the instructions, but honestly, I mean, it's kind of intuitive. Just pop that there and seal that up. There you go. Already nice and sturdy. And then you add your side panels, which are these guys, and basically just this is where you're going to get the actual shape of this. So I want to make sure I'm getting all my pieces. There's that one, there's this one, there's this one. That looks good. And just get that down in there nice and tight. And we're just going to add the bands, and I'll do the same thing for the large one. They have like this little area that's notched out, so it just holds onto it while you pull it to the other direction. And I'll do the same thing on this other side. Again, just bring this over, notch it in here, and I'll put together the large one too. And it comes with extra bands, which is always nice. So I will put those in a safe spot, and actually I'll probably just leave them in here with these things. But I'll be right back. I'm just going to put these two here, and then our box is done, and I'll put the large one together also. Okay, and there is the large one. So, I would say the front of the box is probably where you have the least, amount of like little grommet areas. So I'll say that's the front, and same thing for this one. And then actually, that's also dictated by the tabs, because the tabs obviously need to face a certain way. So this is the small storage tabs, or these are the small storage tabs. And you pop them in here. Of course, I don't have things in here right now to keep them up, but I can probably find some things to pop in there for you. So let's put that there. And then we have small storage pouches. So again, what I would probably do with these, you can obviously label them. I would put probably my glimmers in here, or any other small die sets like those little blooms or little flower blooms that we love. And whatever it is, you can put your label, flowers, glimmer sentiments, whatever it is. And you have all your little spots for that. And I believe that's 10 tabs and 10 pouches. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, something like that. Yeah, that's what it looks like. As far as the pouches, it is a pack of 10. So I'm just popping them in here just so you have an idea. I'll put the large ones in and I'll be right back. So yeah, so there's 10 tabs, 10 pouches, and the tab and pouch sets, and those are sold separately. And then like here I have these little, Be Bold, I believe, blooms is what I wrote there. And I can pop them like in one of these little bags. And then, since I have 10 and 10, I can either just write the name of that set here, but I would probably put it on the bag itself. I have my little dies here, florals, you know, I can pick them out however it is. And this side I just quickly put some embossing folders I have here. Now these are obviously taller and longer, but they definitely fit in here really nicely. So let me give you the sizing on those though real quick. The assembled size is 7 inches by 5 inches by 6.94. So it's 7 inches, let me see here. It doesn't really say on there width or whatever. I'm assuming people do it a certain way every time, but yeah, so let's see here. I'm just gonna measure the inside. So it's like 6 3/8 capacity this way, you know, and on the other direction, that's discounting, you know, the size of this wood here is like 6 3/8. So that's like a 6 3/8 inch box or square. And this one on the inside is 4 3/4, just a little bit bigger than 4 3/4 opening. And in the other direction it is 6 3/8. So I hope that helps out there. Really sweet. You guys know my plan is, well, maybe you don't know, but my plan this year is to redo some of my shelving and things and put in basically all that white shelving. So this will match really well. And yeah, so alright guys, thanks for watching, and thank you so much Spellbinders for sending these items for review. Like I said, I just want to give you a little heads up. So again, I just want to give you a little heads up as I use, you know, these different items and different projects, and you'll know where they're at and where they're from. So I'll have the link there, and I'll see you guys at the next one. Bye now.